Kia ora, my name's Tony Marie Smith and thank you for tuning in to the 2022 Mayoral Candidate Interview Series, the purpose of which is to give you, the residents of New Plymouth, a better idea of who your candidates are, a bit beyond their little written bios and the FAQs on the NPDC Know Your Candidate website. If you're interested in the answers to those questions, I will put a link to the webpage below, but today we are more interested in hearing from the candidates themselves. And I am joined by Peter Hardgrave. Thank you for being here.
Thanks for having me, Tony.
Yes.
Pleasure to be here.
Oh, no, my pleasure, my pleasure. So, if you've seen the other videos, you'll know that I'm asking all the candidates the same 5 questions to make it fair in being able to compare answers and responses. So, we're all good. Shall we get into it?
Yeah, let's go.
Great. Okay. So, arguably, every person who puts themselves forward to be mayor will say that they're the best person for the job. But if that were true, then it wouldn't matter who we elected. We could elect anybody. And although we all have different skills and qualities that make us valuable to our community, the value of those generally depend upon, or often depend upon, what's needed at the time. So what do you feel puts yourself ahead of other candidates in terms of, or in light of, the challenges that NPDC and the community are currently facing?
Well, I come from 2 different areas. I could say I come across as, first of all, as just a ratepayer, and I own my own home, of course. But the other thing that's really important, and I think people, is the fact that I'm a businessman. And I've been in the community for 22 years, working in amongst the community. And in a funny sort of way, you might as well say I've been serving the community, which I have.
Literally.
Yeah, so you know, I've felt the pain of what's going on in our community. And I think it's a really good asset to have had the experience I've had for the last 22 years working in our business and amongst the retailers and everyone else in town. And I've made a lot of relationships, met a lot of people, and yeah, so I think we need, as a council, I think it's very beneficial that they could have someone like me, a businessman, who understands what's going on, what needs to happen, and also come up with some ideas for the future and how we could move forward in a manner that, you know, would benefit everyone. You know, so yeah, lots of issues to think about, especially in our main centre of town. We've had our car park taken away. And that's been a huge blow to the retailers, and that just has to come back. And I mean, I hear talk that they're going to spend a couple of million on it, and then they're saying, or someone said that they're looking at then demolishing it. Well, there's no way that I would agree with that sort of thing. You know, we need to make our town function well, and yeah, and I think we could also too utilise a lot of our shops and stuff for housing, if you wanted to, you know, come up with an alternative idea for freeing up some of those spaces above shops, and as a council making it more easier for that sort of thing to happen, you know. So
you feel that you have connections with both the community through serving the community and with business and business networks? Oh, definitely. Through being a business.
Definitely. Yeah. And I have to say that I was a little bit disappointed with the council's efforts through this time. I don't think we got any help at all through the lockdowns. I think the only thing they did was make parking free or something like that for a little while, but apart from that, you know, they didn't look at saying, hey, we can cut fees, you're all struggling, you know, and I think they could have done a little bit more for the business community. And I think moving forward in the future, especially now, we need to look at things to help the retailers, to help them get back on their feet, because at the moment we find ourselves in a time where the economic situation is not good at all. So, you know, prices on lots of things have increased. I mean, I know in our business we've had things increased by 100%. and they're telling us that inflation's at 7.3%, but, those numbers don't add up. So there's a lot of struggling people out there. And of course, the ratepayers, now's not a time to be increasing people's rates, So, yeah, there's lots of issues we need to tackle. And so I see it as being, we need to look at what's going on in our community, who's struggling, how can we help them, because there is a lot of people out there struggling. And that's where I come from. So, I'm someone who wants to listen to everyone, because everyone needs to be listened to. And I sort of feel that our council's sort of drifted away from that listening attitude that we need, And so that's what I'm about, yeah.
Okay, I think that in the interest of our businesses, small businesses, family-owned businesses, things like that, having that perspective could be very valuable. So great, thank you. This question is what I've been coining the humility test. This is the question is around challenges. So, if elected, what aspects of the role of mayor might you expect to challenge you most, and which skills or areas of knowledge do you feel that you could further develop yourself to ensure you were executing the role as best as possible?
Well, when I take on this role, I'm not going to have any other responsibilities. I'm basically going to be the mayor. I'm not going to have any conflicts of interest. And I'm just going to be someone that's got an open door policy. If you have a problem, come to this mayor. He's here to listen, he's here to help. And I think there's a lot of challenges in our community. I mean, for the last 4 years, for instance, I've been on the board of trustees at the YMCA as a volunteer, helping people in the community. And the reason I've done that is because I'm passionate about people and helping people. And I also have donated a little bit of stuff called to the Gathering downtown, where they're helping young people in the community. And I quite often go there and have lunch, and I talk with some of these people that are in there. And all they want is someone that they can talk to and someone to listen to. So, so I have a lot of, I think communication is a real big thing moving forward in our future, and bringing people together to the table and getting them to have a conversation, because if we haven't worked it out, this whole last 2 years has certainly divided our community. And so that's where I come from, someone who's going to bring this community back together as one. And I want to make people smile again. And I think that's the really important thing for us as a community.
I agree. What's funny about the question is I ask people about challenges and they tell me about their strengths. It's okay. I love hearing about your strengths. Is there anything that you feel that you need to learn about, though, in this position?
Well, what I'll have to learn about is things I don't know that are in there yet. But I'm sure I can pick that up, See, I went to this university, and what it was called life and life experiences. And it also taught me to be very resourceful, show lots of initiative. And, it doesn't take an expert to work some things out, So I come across as someone who's very hands-on, very practical, and thinks about things in a different kind of way to the politicians, So like I'm a businessman, I'm a handyman, I can talk to people. I have lots of attributes, and I love getting out in the outdoors. Yes, I have, lots of things to offer,
Okay, cool, thank you. Okay, so the next question, regardless of your stance on the Three Waters reform, the answer to which, if you're interested, can be found on the NPDC Know Your Candidates website. I'm more interested in asking about, or trying to gauge, community connection and perception. So in your views, rather than stance, what do you see as the key reasons that the Three Waters reform is receiving such fierce opposition from the community and from councils?
Well, I think it's causing racial division, to be honest. Maori aren't happy about it, Pākehā aren't happy about it, and I'm just going to come straight to the point when I say those things. And it's not just, it's unlawful, there's nothing that's undemocratic, just like I said in my interview. And I totally disagree with the whole thing. And if when I become mayor, I won't be accepting this mandate. You see, what people think this is a done deal and that it's coming in. Well, a mandate's purely a suggestion. It's not a law. And there's a lot of other councils around the country that have stood up to this and said that they're going to join the class action lawsuit against this whole thing. That's where I stand. I'm not going down without a fight, and no one should just go along with this because it's just not right. Yeah, I'm totally against it. And if you want to look at reforms, well, you know, they've changed all our hospital system around, and look what's happened to it. It's broken. And I don't see the water being any different to that. So no, definitely not. I don't accept this at all. And if they need someone to stand up and fight for this, that's what I'm here for. That's what I'm coming in for.
So do you think that the key reason or reasons has to do with racial division? Do you think that that's one of the points of opposition from the community?
I think, you know, there's other issues going on with Three Waters. If you look at Nanaya Mahuta and her family being involved with Three Waters right at the top, I think we're going to discover things in our councils that are also going to uncover things that people don't expect. There's more to Three Waters than just the Three Water issue. I think it's going to uncover quite a lot of things that people have been having hid from them.
Okay, interesting. We'll see. Alrighty, so the issue of misinformation and disinformation spread and its potential impact on the community has been highly debated in our increasingly online, media-saturated lives these days. But in regard to democratic process and societal progress, what are your views on freedom of speech and conversely, censorship of certain ideas?
I think freedom of speech is very important, but I think we all find ourselves at the moment not being able to be free with our speech. The thing is with freedom of speech, I think it's important that everyone has a say in the community, or if they want to say something, because it generates a conversation and it also teaches us things. You know, if we're going to be closed-minded about issues and we don't want to hear other people's thoughts, well then we're never going to move forward from where we are right now. So I think it's important that people have the right to say things. You know, and right at this time, everyone's being persecuted for having an opinion. Myself, I normally say what I mean, and if I have an opinion, I like to make that opinion, but I also like to listen to people as well. You know, so that's where I come from, yeah. Definitely, yeah, there's misinformation out there, but there's lots of things going on in our society at the moment that really make you question what is going on in our society and why is there this misinformation, if that's what you want to call it, you know? You know, why are we in the position we're in right now in our community? You know, you've got a fire department in this town with lack of staff. You know, they've got they're supposed to have 38 people in there, they only have 20. They're jumping up and down, you know, saying we need help, and they're saying all sorts of things about the way the management's controlling their operation. And I think that's filtering down in so many different areas, even in our council. You know, I think there's changes that need to be made, there's opinions that need to be heard, and people need to start speaking up and standing up for their rights and not being put down for what they say. It's everyone's right to have a say. So yeah, that's where I stand on that sort of thing anyway.
Cool, yeah. Good, like you've got to be able to have a discussion in order to ever get to a point of agreement, right?
Yeah, to bring about change too.
Yeah.
You know, and that's very important. We need to come together as a community. We all should be able to have a say in our community in order for us to make changes, you know, and changes for the better. That's what I'm about anyway. You know, I'm not here to force my opinion on anyone. I mean, that's not what the mayor's job is. If I'm going to be the mayor, you know, we're here to listen and we're here to take on board other people's concerns. And I feel myself personally that hasn't happened with our council for a while, you know, and yeah, especially with decisions as well, you know. I think I've had enough of decisions being made about us without us, all sorts of things, So yeah, we need to listen to everyone in the community. Everyone has a voice. Everyone has something to say, Doesn't matter who you are,
Now, you just did a little rhyming thing there. You said, not about us, without us. And I'm just going to lead us into the last question here, which is not really a question. It's just a bit of fun. If you could please provide me with a campaign catchphrase that includes your name in it.
Let the people of Taranaki make New Plymouth great again. Vote Peter Hardgrave for mayor.
Okay, all right. Can I suggest one for you?
Yeah.
Now, I'm just making this up on the fly because I haven't practiced it. We've got a road to pave. Vote Peter Hardgrave.
Well, that's not too bad. Not too bad. Yeah.
Okay. What about the person for progress? Vote Peter.
Yeah, I like that one too.
Okay,
I like that one. Yeah,
maybe
I like
a little bit better.
Yeah, that's getting better. Yeah.
Okay. Got any other rhymes in there?
Well, I don't know really.
The day's going to be saved. Vote Peter Hardgrave.
Yeah. If you want a mayor for the people, someone that loves the people, that listens to the people, that speaks for the people, who'll listen to the people, here I am.
Yeah.
Vote Peter Hardgrave for mayor.
Go on, say it to the camera.
Vote Peter Hardgrave for mayor.
Nice. All right. Thank you. Thank you so much for your time today, Peter. I really appreciate it. It's been wonderful to speak to you. Thank you for watching. Was there anything else you wanted to add? I was just going to wrap up.
No, thanks for having me, and my pleasure.
Great, thank you. Thank you for watching and for taking interest. Remember to vote, otherwise there's no point in, engaging in this kind of dialogue with us. And all the best. Take care. Ka kite.
Thanks.